Marcy Bullock with part 2 of succeeding in your first internship. So you just ended part 1, thinking about your legacy and the 3 things you want someone, your boss, your coworkers, to remember about you when you leave. Let's now move on to your relationship with your boss. We want to think about understanding this human being. They will make mistakes. They will not be perfect. Really understand what motivates them. Are they extroverted or introverted? Do they like to have conversations? Do they hate interruptions? Learn the priorities of your boss. And the most important thing you can do is make your boss look good. Because if you are doing your job and you're not a performance issue, 90% of their job is going to be pulled into the interns that are performance issues. Try not to make too many assumptions. You want a balance between having your hand held and asking questions every single hour because you're so worried about making a mistake, and going too far out and trying things that you should have asked questions about, all right? So there's where you find the tightrope to walk. You're going to make a couple mistakes. Always listen. Always ask questions and clarify, and remembering that you have your nice handy dandy notebook. So you're always taking notes and saying back to your boss the timelines, the action items, the due dates. You can seek feedback. We're going to talk about your performance review a little bit later. You can agree on your schedules so that you understand what the hours are, and always keep your boss informed. If you have to run to a doctor's appointment, just don't make a surprise come up for them. And what will the communication pathway be? Is it email? Is it in person? Is it phone call? Some people even text message with their boss, but that would be something you would want your boss to suggest to you, because you don't want to be too friendly or informal with your boss. It is a professional relationship. Now, when you are receiving negative feedback, because as I said, you will not be perfect in your first internship, and it is expected for you to stumble. That is part of the gig, is they are teaching you and they are helping you to craft into that former student, future professional. So when you hear feedback, you want to say it back. So what I am hearing you say is, the deadline for the project was Friday at 5, and I turned it in Monday at 1. I did not make the deadline. Then ask probing questions for more information. So let me make sure that I understand how fast I need to work. Do you have any other concerns about this issue? Acknowledge and ask questions until all feedback is given. Some people, when they get feedback, they get very defensive because they don't like to be told that they didn't do something right. And if you have an addiction to perfection, be ready to let that go. Thank someone for giving you feedback. Honestly, if they care enough to tell you what you need to improve on, you need to appreciate the fact that they're investing in your future. And don't take it personally. They are not saying you're a lazy person. They're just saying you were late for work that day. They are evaluating you on your performance, not on who you are as a person. If they say the dress code here involves having a collared shirt and you had a t-shirt, that doesn't mean that they didn't like your shirt. So nothing is being taken personally. So we have a couple of practice scenarios now. If you can pause this video and take a few notes on a role play for what you would do in this scenario. This is our second practice role play. We're practicing having you give feedback to someone else when it's a little bit of a sticky situation, which could happen at work. So go ahead and pause this scenario and take some notes on how you would handle it. Now, finally, we are going to conclude with relationships. Taking initiative with your coworkers, introduce yourself, have a friendly walk and talk, social distance, go to lunch if possible, sitting outside, get involved in any activities that might be happening when our pandemic and quarantine are over and lockdown is done. And always try not to judge people, try not to gossip. I know life is high school, do not get involved in it. Uh, don't join in. And if you're listening, you might even want to stop listening. Make the most of the mentoring relationship. So when you see someone you look up to, ask them for advice. People love, love, love to give advice. It makes them puff out their chest to know that they're successful and you look up to them. So ask people. It can be flattering for them to show you the ropes, and pay attention. Ask for new challenges. That shows initiative. And prepare your performance review at midpoint and conclusion by documenting your success. Journal, keep track of everything that you did well in your internship. So when you are called in midpoint and end for performance review, that you have everything written down about your successes and also what you want to continue to grow in. You will be your boss's dream. For your resume builder, you want to learn new skills, get practical experience, apply theoretical knowledge that you might have in the classroom to real world problems. That's why they hired you, because you're that fresh, young idea person. And keep track in your journal. Finally, seek out broad exposure to the organization. Ask to tour and get immersed in the culture. Look for opportunities to network, maybe volunteer for things. Don't just stay isolated doing something repetitive. You have to get out and seek these opportunities for professional development. So if there's a brown bag speaker coming in, ask to go listen. Always get involved in different departments. And so we're going to end with how you become a great intern. Everything surrounding this graphic, knowing exactly what your expectations are in your projects, being assertive, networking, seeking out your mentorship, having a professional internship where you understand the culture, sharing in your feedback and asking questions. All of that is going to help you to succeed in your first internship, your next internship, and your next job.